In a world increasingly facing the challenges of climate change, with the Building Green podcast, we will dive deep into the intersection of architecture, design, urbanism, and environmental responsibility. I'm Ladina Schipp, your host. I've been an architect and building site manager for the past 10 years. During my studies at ETH in Switzerland, as well as in my working environment, I've had many touchpoints with sustainability, like many of you, I guess. I've also learned to question what I've been told, which is why I decided to go deeper into the topic and uncover what sustainability actually means. My mission is to highlight the transformative power of sustainable architecture, not just as a practice, but as a catalyst for broader societal change. Subscribe for more of our content and enjoy the show. Welcome to the second episode with Gaia Sonzogni. She's gonna show us around the house La Corte, the sustainable building that she just finished in Miami Beach. Make sure you watch the first episode if you missed it.
So, what would you like to know? Well, I didn't show you the house yet. So, well, there's a separate bedroom that we nicely call the in-laws bedroom. But in Spanish sounds like el cuarto de la suegra. Yeah. So we thought about that for the mother-in-law, I'm sorry. And it's separated from the house and it's on top of the kitchen. But I'll take you there after. This is the one of the other bedrooms. When we designed it, we thought about, it was COVID. So a lot of people working from home. So this was gonna be kind of the home office.
Oh wow, that's
also
a nice home office.
Yeah, also because it's this door also works as an entry door, so it's lockable. Yeah. So you can receive people without them going through the house if you wanted. But now we staged it as a guest bedroom, pretty much.
And I guess this is north or
north.
Okay, so at least the big windows are not towards south.
Yeah, and they're shaded. Yeah. So what we did here, because the subtropical climate is a little bit different from Europe. Yeah. So the best shape for Miami weather is the floor plan is a U, directed to north, with the courtyard directed to north, and all big openings directed to north. So you get reflected light, you don't get direct sunlight, and all the openings that we had that are not north, they either have louvers, so shading devices, architectural eyebrow, or they're very, very small. So it was fun because to get these approved, we had to demolish an existing home that was prior 1939 for Miami's historic. It was a house like my neighbor. I don't want to say that it's ugly.
Was it protected?
No.
Not yet.
No. Even if it wasn't significant architecturally, it was just old. So we had to go through it's called design review board. So we had to present the project. The project didn't have any opening east, south, and west. Wow. It was all north. It was a little bit dramatic for them. And they were like, no, you have to put more openings because it looks like a fortress. And I was like, okay. So we added all the windows that you see that are that one was already there, not true. Some of the openings that are on the south side, the one in the living area, they're the fascia opening. Those are pretty much a request of the city of Miami Beach. But I have to be honest, it was very nice because it was bringing the project in front of a commission of architects and they gave good opinions.
Yeah, inside.
This thing that happened here, it's actually we didn't design it, but by code you cannot do facades that extend more than 65 feet without being interrupted by a volume like this. Okay. So we were okay, what do we do with that? So we created it, and that's the powder room.
Oh wow, beautiful.
Yeah, we still have some work to do, to be honest, but
it's beautiful. Do you know, are these stones local or something?
The only things that are not local are the millwork, comes from Italy. Okay. So everything that is boiserie, cabinetry, etc., there's a sustainability source close, or there's sustainability how long it's gonna last. So this is gonna last. They have a wonderful showroom in Wynwood, by the way, you should go. Beautiful.
I think we passed by.
It's all like color tiles.
Yeah.
Go in. They have a like wonderful like marble sculpture. And they work with a lot of famous designers.
Okay, cool.
So, for example, this was all from Mexico because it's the closest one we get as natural stone, and the wood floors upstairs are from Austria. Again, warranty. How many times can I send it?
Yeah.
Maintenance, etc., etc. So yeah.
Yeah.
For the furniture, I mean, I've been working with this company for 10 years. It's like I know what I'm getting, and you know the doors are Italian, the handles are Olivari. I don't know if you know the brand, but certain things I didn't even try to source in United States because they're not there yet in terms of craftsmanship.
In terms of craftsmanship, but also in terms of sustainability?
Let's say that they don't care much.
Okay.
In Miami and at this market. So if you're looking at luxury, high-end home, you know, when I go to brokers and I tell them, this is a energy efficient home, is gonna be LEED Platinum certified, they're like, okay.
Whatever, it looks good.
Yeah, sure. There's a laundry room here. That's the other guest room. I'll take you there after. This is the master.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah, we placed that palm exactly in front of the window of the neighbor. So,
that's super
you know,
nice.
I'm not a big fan of window treatment, curtains, whatever you call it. So the idea of the house, the reason why we open also all the openings in the courtyard was so we didn't have to have all these beautiful windows covered by fabric. You know, it doesn't really make sense. The Miami scene is like make the facade all glass, even if it's south, make it all glass, and then cover it with curtains. And I don't know, that's the design choice. And it's more like this home, it's not a show off. A lot of homes are a show off. Like the facade is like, wow.
Yeah.
The master room is wow. And then the rest of the rooms are okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Here we spend the same amount of money, time in every room. And well, the master maybe we use a little bit more of decor. And,
well, and it's also bigger, of course.
Yeah.
That doesn't make it more expensive.
Yeah. But yeah, again, so that's a master closet here in the back.
And sorry, quickly, I love that like from the master, you're like a bit hidden, so you wouldn't see it from any other room actually, but you can like see over everything. Like you see the suegra.
La suegra, but she doesn't see you unless she goes in the balcony. The idea was like to give kind of different views to every room. So I'll take you there after. So every bedroom has well, the one downstairs has the access to the pool, to the courtyard. That one has a balcony. The other one has a balcony. This one has a little balcony going around the master bathroom. So there are like moments in every area. That's the toilet room.
It's super connected to nature.
Yeah.
So you did this between inside and outside is completely open.
Correct. That. So we didn't have this is a dry lot as they call it, so no waterfront. And you know, if you want to push it in a category of like high-end luxury home, you have to give them views. So our views are landscape, and this neighborhood particularly, it's I wouldn't say up and coming, but these projects like this have been happening for 3, 4, 5 years. So. You know, all these homes around us are under base flood elevation, so it means that there's going to be like a huge storm, they're going to be flooded. Okay. So slowly, in the next 20 years probably, all those homes are going to go.
That's crazy.
Go meaning that somebody like me will buy them, demolish them, and build a new one.
Yeah.
That's it.
What do you think about that?
Well, it's necessary, no? Like so Miami Beach is part of a program that is called the 100 City from the Rockefeller Foundation. And we had engineers, like the best people from sewer and water management coming from Amsterdam and places where they know how to live with water. Yeah. And so there's a plan in action that by 2030, all the streets and will be elevated over base flood elevation. So it means that, and the space under will work as a drainage for,
Did you do that already here?
This home is elevated plus 10 from NGDV, from, let's say, ocean level.
Yeah.
The street right now, it's at plus 4.
Okay.
The street by 2030 will be plus 6.5. It's not really base flood elevation, but it's a way where, it has enough soil under to drain.
Yeah.
Because right now, well, you got here today and it's a good day.
Yeah, but 2 days ago.
Yesterday, my driveway is new. Like the decorative approach. So the entry is new, and it was completely flooded. And I saw the civil engineering plan. I saw the drainage plan. That works. But the thing is that the waterbed, it's literally here, like under the grass. It's where the waterbed is. When it rains, it doesn't have anywhere to go. Yeah. So it just come up. And plus now it's like king tide, like we have seasons, it's still hurricane season apparently, usually finishes the 31st of October, but no.
Didn't seem like it.
Yeah, and usually in this season you're already wearing a jacket, with a scarf, like not cold, but...
Not cold for us Europeans, but...
22 Celsius. 22 Celsius. For me, it's like, I waited all summer to be like 22 Celsius, wear a shirt like this and I'm being hot and I'm hot. But
so, like from a sustainability aspect, in Europe there's like a huge trend to not demolish old buildings and like reuse them somehow. But I guess here, like the construction basis is
the problem is that 100 years ago when they built Miami Beach, they didn't think about this. They didn't think about resiliency, sustainability. I would think that probably they didn't predict it, or that the ocean was going to rise. They didn't predict that if they kept on building concrete, there was no place for the water to drain when it rains. And this is tropical rain. When it rains, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So it normally gets flooded after 1 hour.
It's crazy.
Of rain, that's it. But for me it's normal. Like in South Beach where I used to live, I remember 10 years ago, before they elevated the streets, there were people going out of buildings with paddles. Paddleboard,
Yeah.
I'm not joking. Like it was like, those videos that you see online. Like, oh look, there's a guy with a paddleboard on West Avenue. It's true. Like it was flooded like up to here. I remember I had a Vespa, and I remember I was coming from my office was in Wynwood. I was coming back to Miami Beach with my Vespa, and I had like the Vespa is like the sustainability #1. Like it never breaks. So I had water up to like the Vespa like here up to my knees. And the Vespa kept on going. I was like,
oh really?
Yeah. I will not do it anymore. I was younger, but now I wouldn't do it anymore.
You were still Italian.
Yeah. With the Vespa, no, because of that. Because I wouldn't go in a flooding situation with my legs, or because now I know that it's like dangerous, accidents, sickness. It's not really healthy water, the flooding water. But anyway.
A few of you might know that I recently opened my own architecture studio, and I just started with the podcast. I'm very excited to build a platform where I connect with inspiring people to learn along the way and share these learnings with you. So if any little thing has inspired you, or if you learned anything new, I'd appreciate if you could rate the show or share my content on social media, Spotify or YouTube, or wherever you listen to it. And if you think there are any touch points between you and me, I'd be super happy to connect with you. Feel free to reach out on any platform.
So this home, like when you build new, you have to elevate over base flood elevation, and especially when you're requesting to demolish something historic, you have to do a little bit more. So we did plus 10. So we elevated even 2 feet more. That is 70 centimeters, something like that, more. What do I think about this? They built without deep foundations before. So this is an island. So this is like we're in the middle of the ocean. If you build without, how do you say deep foundation, poles? Now I don't remember the name.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Helicoid, piles.
Yeah.
If you don't build on stilts, on piles, your foundation are bound to get to go down at a certain point. I have clients here around that did remodelings, and the work that we had to do to put piles under their home, I don't think it's more sustainable than take it to tear it down and just building a new one.
Yeah, it's
because first of all,
aspect.
it's time consuming. You never know how they did it before. We still have to do asbestos tests everywhere, even in new buildings. When you do a demolition, you have to do asbestos tests because construction practice were not really how do you say regulated at a certain, like in buildings. So you maybe open a wall and you find like very unsafe structures, piping going around, materials. So unless it has emotional value, historical value, or or it can be saved, I think that some homes do not deserve to be around. And like LEED certification, if you're not using new land, but you're using land that already exists and already connected to the sewers, already connected to the electrical network, you're doing something new and demolishing something old, but you're also using services that are already there. So you're not consuming land, let's say, like this. So,
Yeah, that's an interesting aspect.
I'm not do you know what happened in 2021? That building that collapsed in Surfside.
No,
I didn't make the news.
Can you tell us the story?
Yeah, it's not really it's a sad story. 100 people died. So it was a building like mine, built in the 70s. I live in it actually. My building was built in 1962.
But like a high rise.
It's on the water. Yeah, like 16 stories.
Yeah.
Not that high.
Okay.
16 stories. The one in Surfside was 16 stories too, on the water. So I'm on the bay, they were oceanfront. And that was built in the 70s. And it was June 2021, and it was very close. Renzo Piano built a building there, the 87 Park is there. So this was the neighboring property, and you can see from the videos, like the building did like...
Wow.
So
Crazy.
The pool patio and parking slab collapsed. And of course, the
like
rest
the
came
fundament,
down.
let's say, collapsed, and everything got collapsed on top of it.
And that makes you wonder, how did they build buildings in the 60s and the 70s here?
Yeah.
And
are you scared now?
A little bit. A little bit, because you don't know how they maintain it. You don't know, like most of the time when people are asked to put money, like, hey, we need to make repairs here, I don't want to spend it.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a law before that forced condominiums to do jobs like consistent, like maintenance wasn't mandatory. Now it's mandatory because of that accident. And the problem is that we have salty water, we have water back coming up and down. So most of the I say old building, but I mean before the 90s. It's not like they're not that old compared to Europe,
Yeah.
So, but most of the old buildings, the parking are flooded every other day.
Wow.
From not salty water, it's water from the soil, from the underground, because it doesn't have anywhere else to drain. So you think about all that, and you think, do I want to live in a new condo or I want to live in an old condo? Does the old condo did all the we get now every 10 years you have to get a structural engineer doing reports, but then there's the maintenance part. So who's gonna take care of it? Who's gonna invest in it? Who's gonna check that they're doing a right job? So me.
That's like in Italy where the bridge collapsed. It's actually not that far away.
The earthquake but Italy, I think, and I'm from there. It's an old country. Like, it's an old country, and I know that those bridges should be new. The beautiful things about America is that everything is transparent.
Yeah.
Corruption doesn't exist because it's legal. The lobbyist is a job, and you're actually getting paid to push a law. That's something that you can do here. So everything is like cards on the table, and I don't see how that could be happening here, and I just see it because it's always like a part of a law that is missing, It's always like, oh, it wasn't mandatory before, oh, the insurance didn't cover this, so we didn't take care of it, we didn't replace the roof. It actually happened in one of my I'm renting a unit, but I was supposed to move in a unit 2 years ago. So I bought it 3 years ago, let's say, and it was the last floor. So my roof was the roof of the condo. Okay, so they had hurricanes going through for the past 20 years. They did not use insurance. They didn't do the proper repair. They just did patches here and there. Water came through, and it came through and came through. So I buy my unit, it's beautiful, and I start to take down part of the drywall ceiling, so the drop ceiling. And I see an exposed rebar, and then I see another one, and I'm like, let me take all the drop ceiling down. And 50% of the unit had the concrete slab was completely detached from the rebars, and the rebars were black. Wow. So I'm not an engineer, my mom is. So I sent her a picture and I was like, what do you think? And she said, call the condominium and tell them to fix it.
Did you already buy it at that point?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was doing the remodeling. I was remodeling the unit, and it didn't really go well. I had to hire a lawyer to force the condominium to do the repairs because they wouldn't do it. Wow. In the process, I had to, and because I'm a professional, I know how to do this. Yeah. But like another person, like it would just like they wouldn't have demolished probably the drop ceiling. I just wanted the ceiling higher, so I started to look where I could go, and I had to call the unsafe structure department of the city of Miami Beach to come to do an inspection. I was like, what do you think? And they were like, yeah, no, you cannot keep on doing your remodeling until that's repaired. Fast forward 2 years later, they just give me back the unit, and they replaced the roof slab. So that was an unsafe structure. Wow. That was going unchecked. Like nobody, like if I didn't check it, they would have gone.
So imagine all the other apartments that people live in that are in the same city.
I'm waiting just to move in to start knocking at the doors of my neighbors. I'm gonna do it. Like I already did it with the neighbor in front of me. I was like, did you see my roof? You wanna check yours? I can send you one of the guys to open the drywall. I mean, come on. And you know there are a lot of older people that live here and might not be able to pay for special assessment, but in Europe, I would think there would be a fund to help you fix it.
Or you would just have to do it, so you need to find the money for it.
Exactly, but for example, in Italy, if you wanna, I don't know anywhere else in Europe, I know about this because I have architect friends. If you wanted to do any improvement towards energy efficiency or towards prevention for earthquakes, the state was financing you the last 2 years was the 110%, but before it was the 50%. Yeah. And it's already a huge help, you know. And it's sad that on one side, the Florida government in certain areas, it's helping. You know, I cannot speak about the federal because I'm not really informed, but I can say about the state here, the government in Florida. So for example, solar panel and batteries, they give you 30% in tax credit. Okay. So it means that, let's say here I spend $100,000 in solar panels. Mm-hmm. The 30%, I can deduct it from my taxes over the years. Mm-hmm. So it's already a good help. So it gives, you know, the whole interiors kind of a warm look. Yeah. And plus, you know, the paint, it's oikos, it's natural, and it absorbs, not absorbs, it fights mold, bacteria, it doesn't have VOCs. Yeah. So even for the people that are installing it, it's safe. Yeah. And so, this is the other bedroom. That's a little balcony to the...
I just saw your curtains. You cannot close them.
Those are staging curtains.
That's cool.
These are just decorations. they're not. We have a package of actually like blackouts coming in for sleeping, but no, these are just for decoration because all the furniture, like whatever is, movable, it's rented to sell the house.
You do that?
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's a business here. It's called staging. So there are companies that have warehouses of furniture. And you get in touch, you show them the project, they give you options for every bedroom, for every space, and then they come, they do a moving, they set it up, they even place, all the bedding, everything, even the art. So pretty much what's ours is just, what doesn't come off.
Yeah. And can later the homeowner say, hey, I want it like this, and then okay.
And it happens 99% of the times because
of course.
American buyers, Miami buyers are
lazy.
I didn't want to say it, but they like to come with the luggage and okay. I also prepare a manual of the house with instructions on how to change the filters of the air conditioning. I have a maintenance plan, so all the people that will take care of the landscape, the pool, the facades, the stone.
A huge thank you for listening. Make sure you subscribe to the show wherever you listen to the podcast to support me and so you don't miss an episode. And while you're there, I'd also be so grateful if you could rate and review us. If you have any guest suggestions or any feedback, you can find me on the socials at Latina Ship. Thanks.